Effective January of 2022, SB9 ministerially approves the by right lot split of residential lots in the state of California. What that means is owners of single-family lots can divide their lot into 2 parcels and build 3 more units, taking their density from 1 unit all the way up to 4. At that point, they can either sell newly created duplex separately, or they can do a cash-out refinance and rent 3 of the new units for positive cash flow. In this video, we'll discuss the local implementation of SB9 in the city of San Diego. SB9 and the new ADU regulations are all in response to the housing crisis here in California. In the previous decade, in San Diego alone, we fell 50% short of our target for new housing. That's about 40,000 units. And in the next decade, from 2020 to 2030, in order to meet the demand, we're going to need to more than double that output. That's where all of these new state regulations come into play. They're all various ways to incentivize the development of new units, but it's up to the municipalities to implement the intent behind the state law so that it conforms with the local building standards. Each city does the implementation of the state law just a little bit differently. Let's face it, not everybody wants new units on their street or in their neighborhoods, so these new laws are a little bit controversial. Alright, so let's take a look at how San Diego is rolling out the new state law. I'm going to go through a list of the things that you can't do, and then another list of the things that you can do. Just remember, there's always going to be exceptions to these guidelines, and they're going to change over time, but this is my initial understanding of the laws as they're being rolled out. Alright, first let's take a look at what you can't do. You can't take down affordable housing, rent-controlled housing, or any housing that's had a renter in it over the past 3 years. While you can rent out the new unit, you can't do short-term rentals. Rentals have to be for 30 days or longer. One of the biggest pieces of the San Diego rollout is that you can't combine SB9, the lot splitting component, with the ADU regulations. You're maxed out at 4 units. So what you can't do is you can't split the lot, put 2 units on each lot, and then build ADUs. Some other cities are allowing you to do that, but you can't do that in San Diego. Here's what you can do. If you have a residential lot within the city limits, you can ministerially split that lot in 2 as long as the 2 new parcels are roughly the same size. There's also an owner occupancy component of the new law. If you're going to do SB9 and split your lot and form new units, you have to sign an affidavit that says you intend to stay in the property in one of the units for 3 years. And really that eliminates some of the feasibility for an outside developer to come in and use SB9 to split lots and sell them separately. Units that you build have to be at least 800 square feet. There are some new setback and height requirements that I'm not going to cover in this video, and you also need to add some tree coverage for lots that are at least 5,000 square feet. So if you meet all these standards, SB9 ministerially approves your lot split. What's that mean? It's basically a streamlined way of saying that you don't have to go through an environmental review by CEQA, which is the California Environmental Quality Act. You don't have to have a public hearing where your neighbors might object to you building more units on the lot. Parking standards are reduced, especially if you're in a transit priority area. So all this adds up to a less expensive and more streamlined process of splitting a lot for an owner-occupied landowner in San Diego. SB9 streamlines the process, reduces public interference, and reduces the fees so that individual homeowners can both help with the housing shortage and turn a profit. The goal with this video is to find other investors who are doing these type of projects, or identify investors who want to do this type of project so that they can use SB9 and the new ADU laws to help with the housing shortage here in San Diego, even if they're Chargers fans. Next video, you can see the development potential on one of our projects. We'll compare what you could do with SB9 versus what would happen if we apply the new ADU regulations. Take a look.